sideways, boys in the days. Sittin' sideways, boys in the days. Sittin' sideways, boys in the days. On the Sunday
Welcome
night,
to episode 22 of Sittin' Sideways. My name is Reezy. I'm on Twitter at Reezy on Twitter at REEZYSZN. I'm here with my boy Ike.
Yo, my name is Ike Cuellar. You can find me on Twitter at Ike Cuellar. That's IKECUELLAR. Make sure you guys tap into our podcast on Twitter at Sittin Sideways _ that's with no G. So make sure you guys tap in, man.
Yes, sir. All right, so we haven't recorded in a minute. The last episode was the quarter season review, and this episode is the midseason review. We took the second quarter of this season off. But we're back. It's third quarter. We're coming back like third quarter Rockets. I'm trying to make that a thing because I don't want to have to say third quarter Warriors. And they've been pretty decent coming out of the halftime. You know, like Ime's adjustments have been decent. We'll get into all that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna push that instead of like third quarter Warriors. Fuck all that thermonuclear shit.
Yeah.
So we'll start putting out episodes again. We're gonna do short. And if you're seeing this by some miracle, it means I got through the video editing and we put this whole episode out as our first video episode. So welcome. This is what we look like. Now you'll have a face to put to those rants.
Let's go.
But yeah, so let's get into it. Mid-season review. The first topic we had, obviously the biggest story of the season. Sengun is playing like an all-star, and he's held it up through half of the season. He's up to, let me confirm this. I want to say 22 points for the season, on the season. Like that's 22 points per game, 9.2 rebounds per game, 5 assists. He's 31st in points, 17th in rebounds, 39th in assists. Top 30, top 40 in like the three major categories. 53.8% field goal percentage, solid because he's a center. Obviously, he's closer to the basket. He's not shooting as much. Higher percentage, just like you remember when DeAndre Jordan led the league in field goal percentage for like 6 seasons in a row or something.
Oh, yeah.
He was on the Clippers because all he's doing was catching lobs.
Catching them alleys.
I can't blame him. I mean, he got paid off of that. But anyway, back to the point. Sengun, he's playing like an all-star. Clearly, like it's undeniable. Whether he gets in or not, just because the West is so stacked, that's a whole nother story. But I feel like he deserves it, and I feel like we're in agreement on that. What are your thoughts? Like overall, Sengun's half a season so far.
I mean, I think a lot of us really expected this, going into this season because he was really the best player for us last year, too, even when we had Steven Silas, the times that he actually utilized him the way that he was supposed to. He was balling back then, but this season, we came into the season worrying about his defense because that was kind of his weak part of the game last year. And he's improved in that now. He's a better rebounder, better defender. You just don't have centers that back him down and just score 20, 25 on him easy. He holds his own. And on top of that, he's not fouling as much. Last year, he would get a lot of, quick, easy fouls where he was out of the game, early. So now he's more disciplined, better defender all around. And, I think a big part of that, too, is when you have great perimeter defenders. They complement each other, right? If you have, like, guards out there that cannot hold their own, it's going to make the centers and the forwards look bad. So I think that's, part of the reason that's happening. But, credit to him because the numbers speak for themselves. And, you know what I'm saying? He's been balling out this year.
Yeah, we saw it last year, right? We knew that this was coming. Well, we didn't know this was coming, but we knew that this was in the pipeline, at some point. And yeah, having to play behind like Christian Wood, having to play behind Bruno Fernando at times, that was frustrating to see. So for everybody who was, calling for his number to be called, who wanted him to get starters minutes, and be taken seriously by this franchise. I think even up until this offseason, there were rumors that they were looking into trading him. They didn't take him seriously, all of that nonsense. So all those fans of his, I understand they must feel like insanely vindicated that so many of them saw this coming. And to us included to an extent, we, gave other players more leeway in taking priority over him. And we were, I guess, a little more patient about when to make that switch. But I have no complaints with making Sengun the centerpiece of the team. He's earning it at 21 years old. He's putting up all-star numbers. I think one of the big things for us as a franchise in this rebuild was like we don't have that like blue chip, generational talent. The Mavs have Luca, Memphis has Ja, New Orleans has Zion sometimes, and then the Spurs have Wemby. So I guess most of us thought it was going to be Jalen, right? We were like, this kid's super athletic. At times, he can shoot lights out. He holds the record for most 3 pointers made in a game by a rookie, right? When he hit 8 against Boston, so he can shoot. He can be efficient, and he can carry the team at times. But he hasn't done it this season, and that sort of takes us into our next topic, which is as much as Sengun has outperformed our expectations, I feel like Jalen Green has underperformed our expectations, especially as a second pick in the draft. Not even like a second round pick, the second pick in the draft. Like he is playing like a second round pick. I mean, like what else can you say? He's I think I saw the stat. Somebody said 27 of the 41 games he's shot below 42% from the field. For a guard, like maybe if you're shooting exclusively threes, that's acceptable, right? Or like primarily threes, 80% threes, then 42%, whatever, I can accept that. He's driving to the rim and he's getting embarrassed like repeatedly. He's driving, he's getting stripped. He's driving, he's getting blocked. He's driving, he's getting bumped and no call because he's still too light. He doesn't have the mass to bang in the paint. So like I still have a lot of hope for Jalen Green. And I tweeted this week something like the numbers and the narratives and the eye test and everything is going one way. It's very clear like Jalen Green apologists don't have a lot to find like respite in right now. Um, is that I don't even know if that's the phrase. There's not a lot to comfort them right now. Like everything, everywhere you turn, it kind of points to Jalen being a bust, and that's really depressing because all we wanted was him to like even be good. Not even like just be like Jamal Crawford would have been like amazing. I didn't need you to be Clay Thompson, Steph Curry. I don't need you to be Devin Booker, right? What are your thoughts?
Well, to point out some of the good things that he's been doing this year, I
Shoot
think
him some bail. Shoot him some bail.
he's been playing better defense, right? He's
That's true.
became a better defender, just staying in front of his man and holding his own out there in the perimeter, and also more of a playmaker, right? Like reading the defense, setting other guys up to get good quality looks. But the reason we drafted Jalen Green is to score the basketball,
Facts.
bro, and he's not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what he needs to do to him, to get into his groove early. Maybe start, shooting some of the middies that are available instead of going all the way to the rim. Because, like you said, he's too light right now,
Mm-hmm.
where he's getting bumped real easy and losing the ball. And they're not going to give us that call. You know what I'm
No.
saying? Sometimes he gets murdered down there and he still doesn't get it. But he just needs to focus on just being a better finisher around the rim because we all see it. He's there, and we've seen like incredible, amazing dunk rim from time to time. But
Mm-hmm.
when he goes for the layups, it's like it's a wasted possession. It's almost like a turnover because
Yeah.
he's not going to make it. So I still have a lot of hope. You know what I'm saying? And I believe in Jalen. I'm always going to stick by his side, bro, because that's one of my favorite players on the team. But when I look at Cam, man, like this guy is ready to go. He's a natural scorer. He's not afraid to
He's
let it
built like
fly.
it. He's
Yeah,
built like a natural scorer. He
facts.
looks like he can take like a really hard hit and tank it. And Jalen doesn't look like that. Sorry, not to interrupt.
No, you're good. But he can also, drive it in and dunk on people strong. Like he's either gonna dunk it or he's gonna get the foul. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
he's built like that. So I think that we're at a point now where we need to make a decision because I feel like it's not fair to the starters, bro. But it kind of like takes the shine away from the starting unit
Mhm.
as far as like how productive they are and playing well with each other.
Mhm.
And I'm not gonna lie, man, Jalen looks like the weakest link out there from the starters. Like it's just what I see out there. Not to like be negative or anything, but I'm like, it's already All-Star break, dog. This is mid-season. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. I think I said at the beginning of the season, like a couple games in, I was like, I'm not passing judgment on Jalen until the All-Star break, but we're coming up on that now, and nothing has changed. So now, like, my opinion is starting to form. Like, I'm not saying it's fully formed. I'm not saying he's a even at All-Star break. I'm not going to say he is a bust, but he's not doing anything to disprove the people who are saying that. And like at some point, like I'm not gonna play defense for him anymore. Like, um, James Harden got years and years of defense out of us, when people were attacking his reputation. But he earned that shit,
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
because he was scoring 60 and
Dropping
50.
60,
You
15,
know
and
what I mean?
15. Like, come
Yeah.
on. Like, yeah, I'm going to defend the guy. But, if you're dropping like 15 on 18 shots, I'm not getting up to, fight for you. If you're not getting up to fight for yourself. So like we don't like to be negative, but we're for the franchise first and foremost. Like we're Rockets fans. We've said that before. We're not Jalen Green fans. We're not Sengun fans. Like whoever's on the team, whoever's playing well, that's who's got our support. Whoever's struggling still has our support, but we're gonna call it like we see it. We're not delusional either.
Sure.
So yeah, my opinion is get it together, Jalen. Like do it now, dog. Usually this is when he has his like, you know, jump during the season, his in-season improvement. This is when it happens. So let's see it. The schedule is supposed to get a little easier. We played a couple of contenders in a row. We played Boston a couple times in a row. Didn't we just play Philly too?
Yeah.
And Joel Embiid is going off, going nuts. So, give us the Lakers or something. Like,
Yeah, they're coming
let's
up.
get a win. Let's get something. Let's go play in Staples Center, not fuck crypto. Let's go play in Staples Center. He gets up for those games, right? He loves
Yeah.
playing the Lakers.
Yeah.
Let's go play the Lakers a couple times in a row. So I still have faith in him that he can turn it around. And I think it's just like Jabari last year. His confidence is shook. You can tell in the interviews he doesn't sound like he doesn't have that swagger he had first season. Because first season it was like whatever, I'm a rookie. There's no real expectations. Whatever I do is gravy. Second season it was like all right, sophomore. As long as I avoided sophomore slump, we're good. And for the most part, post All-Star break, he did. So we were like, all right, post All-Star break again, he turned it on. He's pretty good. And Jabari did the same thing. But this season, Jabari started off solid. He had that one bad game, like we said, against the Spurs. Played like shit. But it didn't seem to rock his confidence. He came back even stronger. Jalen's confidence is shook, and he needs to, like you said, start with like the middies because you're not scoring at the rim.
Yeah.
You
Simple
can
stuff,
shoot
man.
middies. He's
Yeah.
pretty good at the mid range. I've seen like more often than not, he's hitting those. He's money. But the threes are not falling. So just hit your middies. Like, don't force it. Just be the release valve in the mid range. He can get to that too with his shiftiness. He can get to that shot.
Because I will say this too, Reezy, that a lot of these looks that he's getting, they're wide open looks, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the 3 point line, bro. There's nobody around him.
Yeah.
And the defense is like, we're not gonna guard you until you prove us wrong. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like until you
Mm-hmm.
prove it. But if he hits like another stride around this time, like All-Star break and to the end of the season, then
Mm-hmm.
fuck it, we'll take it. Because we
Yeah.
haven't seen much like to this point, man. And it pisses me off when he misses free throws, though. Like
Yeah.
I cannot
But
stand
to be
that.
fair, it pisses me off when anybody misses free throws on our
That's
team.
facts. That's
Like,
true.
whoever you are, fuck you. Like, practice free throws.
Yeah,
Like, there's
man.
no excuse for us to be losing games off of. It's called they're free points. It's a free throw at the basket. What are you
Uh,
doing? Like sitting there. Some of them are not even close. Like I don't know. I think it was Shengun late in the game, and I'm gonna come off as like a total hater of everyone on this team this episode, even though it's just a mid-season review. But Shengun be missing some fucking free throws, and I'll be like, dog, if you want to be an all-star, you want to be taken seriously in this league, like you're gonna get clowned for this shit. When LeBron misses free throws at the end of the game, he gets clowned. So
oh
you are
yeah.
not like protected just because you're super efficient, you're a great playmaker, and all that, and you're young. Like you're not protected. Nobody is protected from that shit. Like you know, Wemby is getting dragged through the fucking mud, and like rightfully so, his efficiency is in the garbage. When he plays well, he's getting his credit. But like just like Sengun, like when he's playing well, he's getting his credit. You got to keep that up across all facets of your game. Nobody's gonna give you any slack because you can pass as a big man. Jokic is not missing free throws at ends of games. That dude is automatic. That dude is automatic from everywhere on the court. He's like a freak of nature. But if you want those comparisons, you got to work it. You got to earn it, right? Like you can't. You're not going to be gifted those comparisons. You got to make your fucking free throws if you're
I
going to be the
felt
leader of this team.
I feel like we could have won at least 5 more games if we would have made our free throws
Yeah, as
like
a team,
a
for sure.
decent
Yeah,
rate.
yeah. Not just LP, but like as a team, if we had just made the free throws that we need to make, not even like all of them, dog. Hit like 80%. Why are
Exactly.
we at like 65% as a team?
Yeah.
Like, you know
There's
what?
no
I'm gonna
excuse
do
for
it.
that.
I'm gonna do it. Ben Sullivan, why are you getting paid this much? This works. Every time I question why he gets paid, we start shooting like lights out. So Ben Sullivan, earn your fucking contract, dog. But besides that, all right, we're done ragging on Jalen. Let's give the other side of that coin without making it a 1-to-1 comparison or him versus him. Cam Whitmore has been playing well. Let's give him some credit. This is a related topic. The reason that we can be a little more critical of Jalen Green is because we got in the shadows the bigger, fearless version of him who is playing very well and is 2 years younger. It's hard to be like, you can't just turn your nose up at that. He is what we wanted Jalen to be rookie year. And, every time we said it last time too, every time he gets the minutes, he performs. Whoever we put in front of him, he dunks on him.
Facts.
So
Yes, sir.
what do you think? Cam Whitmore, like his half a season so far.
I mean, the best thing, bro, about Cam Whitmore, what I love about him is he never stops attacking the entire game. He's in attack mode. You know what I'm saying? Even if he's playing against the scrubs at the end, against the bench when the game's already over, we might be down 20 or we're winning by 10 or 20. He's still in attack mode every single possession, and he does not let up. And that's why we're having this conversation right now because he's a natural scorer
Mm-hmm.
where he's not afraid to let it fly from three, and he's a
Mm-hmm.
great shooter. And
Yep.
on defense, he can hold his own too. So you're not losing anything. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
if you switch those two guys out, um, not saying that it's going to happen right away, right? Or when it's going to happen, but Cam Whitmore is playing with so much confidence right now that you can't, like, you have to let that, you know what I'm saying, be like, uh, how would I say it?
You got to foster it. You got to encourage that.
Yeah, you have to keep pushing that. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, ride that energy.
Mm-hmm.
Pause. You know what I mean? Uh, no, but Cam Whitmore's like confidence right now, bro,
Mm-hmm.
is something that you don't want to go away from. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to take that away from him or give him less minutes. You know what I'm saying? You want to
Mm-hmm.
keep him in the game. And lately here, you know what I'm saying, because of injuries, more importantly because of how well he's been playing, he's been showing, everything that he brings to the table, that he
Yeah.
brings to this team. So I'm like, as a fan, as a Houston Rocket fan, every time I'm watching the game now, I'm looking for Cam Whitmore and to see what he does like every game because he's just so exciting to watch and he's hitting that stride right now, though.
Yeah. So it's surprising to me the level of I kind of mentioned this earlier, but like the fearlessness that he brings to the team, where he really doesn't give a shit what name is written on the front of your opponent's jersey or the back. Like it could be the Lakers, it could be LeBron. He doesn't give a fuck. He's gonna go for that dunk. He's gonna shoot the shot. If they give him enough space, if he thinks he has enough space, he's shooting it. There's no like, I don't think I've seen him pump fake one fucking time. He's either taking the shot or he's passing it off. Like he either knows he has enough space or he doesn't. He's so athletic. He's got like KJ's hops and like 90% of Jalen's speed. Uh, However excited I was about Amen and Jalen as like a backcourt pairing, I'm kind of equally excited for like Amen and Cam Whitmore. And like just imagine that starting lineup, right? You got Amen, Cam, Tari Bari, Shengun. That's all of your like first round core draft. And then let's just say Jalen plays like Jamal Crawford and he's 6 man now. Dog, that's a championship team. I don't care.
That's
Like,
sick. Yeah.
set me up with the Kool-Aid. I don't give a shit. I'm
Yeah.
drinking all of it. That's a championship team. You can build everybody else around that.
Yes,
Like,
sir.
those guys are flashing enough right now at their age for me to be like, yeah, this build is like on track. I'm good. Like, their whole rebuild is on track. I'm good. There's like small shit that we got to change. Like, replace Jock Landale, get Shengun a real backup big who can match up with the guys he doesn't match up well against. Um, and what the fuck else do we need? God
You know
damn it.
what? And you know what, bro? I really think that chip on the shoulder started when he fell all the way to 20, and
Yeah.
he wanted to prove everybody wrong because he's like, man, I was one of the top players, you know what I'm saying, that was supposed to be drafted early. And, whether it was injury concerns or whatever it was that he fell to 20,
Mm-hmm.
he's like proven to all the teams that passed up on him, like, y'all motherfuckers are missing out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts. How many of these bums that got drafted before him aren't doing anything? And like, yeah, they're young too. Like, so to be fair, they're not all bums, but some of them are
Mhm.
bums. So somebody's gonna get fired. Cam Whitmore is definitely gonna get a couple of GMs fired. But like we kept on saying, and it's a good story for the Rockets and for Stone to get both of the guys you were considering at four and 20, and getting them both. Yeah, that's amazing for us. But imagine how embarrassing that is for Cam to be like sitting there next to Amen every day in practice and being like, we were supposed to go at the same spot. We were mocked to the same draft spot. You're making like however many more millions than I am now. And nobody thinks I deserve this spot. Like they only took a flyer on me. Like, let's be real. We spent the 20th pick on. We didn't trade up to like draft him. He fell
Mhm.
to 20. And we were like,
Yep.
all right, fuck it, let's take him. Because I want to say Stone was like, we're not gonna be using both of our picks pre-draft. I want to
Facts.
say that he said that, and then
Yeah.
somehow we ended up using both of them anyway because we got Cam. So like, great story for Stone, great story for the franchise, amazing. Piss some people off, but amazing asset management. Um, but for Cam, that's got to suck, and like you said, that's got to be a chip on his shoulder that all of these dudes completely underestimated him. All these bum ass GMs and scouts. So yeah, like but you can see that in him every day. Jalen tried to kind of put on that same energy with like the Deion Sanders shirt rookie year, and we were like, okay, he feels some kind of way about this. Like he wants to go after Cade. This is going to be like a Cade versus Jalen thing for a couple of years. Detroit's dumpster fire. Let's ignore that they're in the Medicaid era right now, where everybody is injured and they play like ass,
Oh yeah.
and the team has no like path forward because they signed Monty Williams to like $600 million for 4 years or some shit. Um, but like Jalen didn't keep that energy going. It wasn't like a fuck you, I'm here. Like I've made it to the league kind of moment where like every time I watch Cam play, every time he makes a three, every time he dunks it, it's like he's dunking in like Danny Ainge's face or whoever passed
Facts.
up on him. You know what I'm saying? Like he's
Hmm.
dunking in somebody's face who interviewed him and was like, "Oh yeah, we're really big fans of you." And then he was available at that spot and they fucking passed on him. And whatever, the 19 times he got passed on, which he probably expected, Victor and Scoot to go first. But all of that's got to be built up. That's not like nobody that competitive is letting that go. So, yeah, I definitely enjoy seeing that from Cam. I think we've harped on this enough. Real quick, just because we've been talking about Cam, what do you think of Amen so far?
Well, I really like what he brings to the team defensively. You know what I'm saying? Great perimeter defender, can stay in front of his man. The quickest guys in the NBA. He's more than capable of guarding those guys. And remember the block he had against the Utah Jazz the other night, though? Like that was a game-winning play. This guy, that wasn't even his guy. That he
He
came
yeah
to
comes on the weak
help.
side.
Yeah, and just incredible athleticism by
Timing,
Alvin Thompson, bro. Yeah,
IQ,
like once he gets a better grip of the handle, you know
handle.
what I'm saying? I think he's going to be even more dangerous because he's already a great passer. It's just once he gets that handle a little bit more, secure,
Mm-hmm.
where he's more like confident with it,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna be a problem, like for sure.
Yeah, the combination of basketball IQ, athleticism, and timing, like game feel, the feel for being in the right spot, being able to get the rebound, stuff that like Tari and Shengun have in like spades. He's got that. Where he's lacking, like you said, is that ball handling and just the shooting touch. So
Yeah,
for me, it's like his game feel is at like right here, and then his sorry, if you're audio only, I'm raising my hand above my head. And if you're uh, his ball handling is like down here, right? Game feel, ball feel. He's just got to like reconcile the two. So if you're capable of this with game feel, I feel like you're capable of the same thing with ball feel. So ball feel. I've just been saying that. Now it sounds weird.
pause.
Pause. I might have to edit that out. But okay. Uh, my overarching point is I think because of how good he is at other things, I think he's capable of being that good in handle, his shooting, whatever else. I don't. I just there's some prospects where you're like they're raw in specific areas, but not totally raw. He's not like Sekou Dumboya. He's not like a project that like you're taking a prayer on. He's Amen Thompson. He can play make. He can move fast as lightning. He can jump up through the ceiling. We know all this. So I think given his basketball IQ and his timing and all the stuff that he's flashed so far, I think that the rest of the game will come along.
It's just his shooting, though, Reezy. I will say
Mm-hmm.
that whenever he gets in the game, he looks a little nervous. You know what I'm saying? When he's going to shoot that open three or just any shot, to be honest. But when you see the practice, some of the, you know what I'm saying,
He
the
looks good in
videos from
practice.
practice, yeah, like he's making shots, he's shooting with confidence. It's just, when he's in the game, he gets a little nervous. And that's, going to happen for a rookie, first year in the league. And, he's got a lot of nerves going on. But,
Mm-hmm.
he was injured for first part of the season. I forgot how long it was,
It
but
was like 3 or 4 weeks.
yeah,
They kept him out for a while though to be safe because they didn't need him. Like Fred's playing well as a starter or like well enough, and Aaron Holiday is playing way better than his contract, so they were fine with him sitting, I guess,
yeah,
which
at the
makes sense.
time, Aaron Holiday was balling.
Yeah,
Uh,
dude. He was. There was a couple of fourth quarters in a row where he was shooting lights out from three, and I was like, just use him as the outlet, the release valve, because we don't need. I don't want to name names, but I don't. We don't need other people missing. He's been reliable as shit, and
yeah,
like as a vet, he's not phased by the moment. These young guys get a little phased by the moment. Jabari doesn't, but some of the other guys do, and that's fine. They'll grow out of that. But Aaron Holiday, dude, are we sure we didn't get the best Holiday, brother?
for real, right? That's facts.
But we'll keep it moving. Um, actually, you made a good point, and I wanted to pivot off of that into our next topic. You said Amin Thompson, you can kind of tell he doesn't have that confidence when he shoots. I agree, and I can see that. You can see that hesitation of like, do they would they want me to take this shot? Like you can see that process, those gears turning in his head when he's taking that shot. I think that falls on Ime Udoka. Like you need to tell this kid, like, yeah, we're trying to win, but your shot is an important part of this team's future. Like you need to be able to shoot. Same with Shengun. Like one of them has to develop a shot. You can't have both of them, not being a threat from deep. So one of them's got to develop a shot. Let him rip. Like let him take the shot. Who gives a shit? If Amin Thompson misses, I'm not mad. If Jalen misses, I'm mad. If Jabari misses, I'm mad. If Fred misses, I'm mad. If Aaron Holiday misses, I'm shocked. When Shengun misses, I'm fine. When Amin misses, I'm fine. When Tari misses, I'm fine. I need those guys to develop their shots. And I don't need them to develop it in a championship year. This is as not competing for a championship as we're going to get moving forward, right? Every year moving forward now, we're just going to be trying to win more and more and more. So if you need to develop anything, develop it this season, right?
Facts, bro.
Prioritize that now. Don't prioritize it later when we're trying to win.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point. So that's where I'm at with Ime and Amin. Like, make sure he's aware that like he's got a green light. He's got to have the green light that Jalen has, or that Cam has. That Cam has given himself apparently. So
Yes, sir. And like to add to your point, I would say I would like Shingun to shoot more threes. I would like to be more confident in taking those. We see a lot of times where he pump fakes out there. He's not sure. Like, man, shoot it. Like, don't hesitate. Don't be scared.
Hmm.
He's more than capable of making that. And Amin Thompson too. Like when you look at the good teams in the NBA, these motherfuckers shoot a lot of three pointers.
A lot of threes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like look at the Celtics when we played them up there. The motherfuckers could not miss. They were making everything, dog.
Hmm.
And kind of like when we were in 2017, 2018 with Antony and Harden and Chris Paul, we were shooting like 33s a game or something like that.
Hmm.
And that was, part of the reason because we had good shooting and we're playing like the analytics of it too.
Yeah, I mean, all you got to do is look at the scores that the best teams are dropping, right? They're dropping 120, 130, 140 every night. Some of these teams dropping 150, and
Hmm.
like it doesn't look like they're exerting themselves that much. Like it's not going to OT, but they're dropping like 140, 150. So like when we have games where we score under 100 points, I'm just like, come on, dog.
Yeah,
Just yeet some threes. What's the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen already happened. We went over 27 in the West Conference Finals against the Warriors. Like the worst has happened. Fuck it, shoot. Like
exactly.
let it rip now. What's our standing? Where are we at right now in the do you know where I think we're in the play in, but I'm not sure where.
I think we're like 10 or 11, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so right now we're 11th, which is
Okay.
just outside of the play in. We're lottery. Oh fuck. 20 and 22.
We can still make it though. We just gotta, you know what I'm saying? We gotta hit like a little winning streak, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, pretty soon
I think
here.
we've played a lot of tough teams, so there's got to be some easier teams to play. I feel like we haven't played Charlotte at all. I don't even remember what Brandon Miller looks like. Um, just like have we played the Trailblazers yet? I don't even know.
We played them
Um,
on Wednesday.
did we?
No, we're going to play them
Oh,
on
okay, we're gonna
Wednesday.
play them. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, so we got some easy games coming up. I think my what I was trying to decide was like if I was giving Ime a grade, right, based on just the record, solely the record, nothing else. I have to give him an A, even if we're 11th. 20 and 22.
Yeah.
Nobody said we were going to be 500. Nobody
Facts.
was like saying, I mean, optimists were saying like 40 wins. Sure. But like most serious people, Vegas analysts, people who do this for a living, not people with just podcasts.
Yeah.
That's not a shot at Jackson. Jackson does this for a living. Um, fuck you, Jackson.
Yeah, for real.
But people who do this for a living weren't saying 42 wins or 41 wins, whatever we're at. We're on track for 40 wins. So let's say 80% of people were saying below 40. So I'm gonna give Ime like a B plus because Shengun looks like an all-star. Dub. Record looks good. Dub. Fred Dylan integrated amazingly well. The defense has looked stunning at times, right? Like we're
Yeah.
holding real teams to under 100 points. We're beating teams with our defense now, not just out shooting them. All of that is impressive to see. So I'll say B plus because there's definitely things that could have gone better. If they had the season the Texans are having, the Texans had A plus, without a question, A plus plus.
Yeah, man.
Best rank.
Yeah, facts. I would give Ime a B plus as well because he, you know what I'm saying, he established that defense early, like in training camp, and he really let the team know this is going to be our identity. And now we're doing it, you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
uh, from the beginning of the season until now. That's our identity as, we're a defensive team. On offense, sometimes I don't think we have an identity yet,
Mm-hmm.
even though Shingun is cooking a lot of the time. But I think we'll get there. And they recognize like that's our all star. Don't go away from him.
Mm-hmm.
And they integrate different things when he has the ball. Like things like, when he has the ball in the post, a lot of time there's no movement. Like the our guys just stop moving. Like go set a ball screen, like run off picks or something. Like give him something to work with. Don't just put the ball in his hands and be like, save us, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
we
like
gotta create something.
not to interrupt, but just to like emphasize your point, right? Like If the job was to feed Shengun the ball and stand around on the perimeter, I thought we could do that. Like,
Yeah,
you don't need to pay anybody $10 million to do that shit. That's not that hard.
exactly.
I can make it. I can make that pass, but like, I feel like we saw that development last year, though, right? Like, guys were making cuts by the end of the year. Jabari was making cuts. Tari was making cuts. Like, who, what, where did that drop off? Where did that stop? Who's not emphasizing that now? Who's de-emphasizing it? That they're like ball watching, like us. Like, yeah, I'm dumbfounded when Shingun does all this crazy shit in the paint, but like, motherfucker, you getting paid not to be dumbfounded. Make a cut.
Yeah,
Like, go
exactly.
lay the ball up.
Yeah,
Shingun's gonna find you too. You know he's gonna find you. That's what he's there for. That's his threat, is that he can find you if you cut. So like, what the fuck? Go do something. It's crazy when I see pro players ball watching on the perimeter. And
and
like, it's definitely a thing with like rebuilding teams and young teams, but like, I'm over it. It's like, move. How hard is it to be like the next person I see standing around gets benched?
and then I will say this though, Reezy, like maybe a lot of times they do want that to happen because they want a double team to get
Mm.
on Shingun so maybe he can make a good pass and find the open guy. But still, the defense is at its weakest when everybody's moving. Like it's hard to guard. You know what I'm saying? Not to like bring this team up because we fucking hate them, but that's why the Warriors been successful so many years, running off of screens, fucking moving screens. I won't get into that, but you know what I'm saying? Like the defense has a tough time when everybody's moving like that. So I think that would just create like easier looks for everybody else.
Yeah, I agree. I think it, I get your point of like maybe they don't want to do it so they can bait the double team. But I feel like you can bait the double team with movement too, right? Like there's ways to do that. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking like immediately Rip Hamilton 2000 whatever 4 finals when he's running those laps, dog, around the fucking court. Do you remember that? Like
Yeah.
I remember him terrorizing the Lakers with that, just running laps. And like whoever his defender happened to be at the time was hating fucking life because he could get open after like 3 laps.
Yeah.
Like what's the excuse for Jalen not to be like zipping around the court and like just find yourself open? You don't need the moving screen. Like Rip Hamilton wasn't getting moving screens, and Jalen's faster than Rip. So like I know the game has evolved and shit is different now, but like that to me is frustrating. And then the other thing I wanted to note was they do try to bait that double team when there's non-shooters on the floor though. So like you're not gonna get it then from those guys, right? They'll send whoever is on Tate to
Yes. So
go double on Shingun because you're playing them 4-5 or whatever. They're gonna send whoever's on Amen because he's tall enough. You can stick a tall defender on him, and then you can get him to double team Shingun. So like you know if you're gonna try and bait it with withholding movement, then you can't have non-shooters on the floor too. I think that's my problem. And then we've been playing a lot of non-shooter lineups where it's Tate, Amen, Shengun, Jock Landale, whoever. In this case, Jalen Green. Sometimes we're playing three, two, three, four, sometimes four non-shooters on the floor. Like, what is the point? Like, you're not gonna be able to threaten the defense. Uh, so I don't know. On a day-to-day basis, I can find things in each game where I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing, Ime?" But we've said it before. He's forgotten more things about basketball than we'll ever know. So
but
let's see what he's cooking. Well, with that said, I think overall I would give the season like a B plus. Um, yeah. What do you think in comparison to what your expectations were preseason? Like when we were after we'd gotten Ime, after we'd gotten the rookies, and you thought however we were going to do. How do you think the season has played out?
for my grade, I'll give it a B minus, just because I thought Jalen was going to be better, and I thought the starters with him being in the starting lineup was going to look better. But somehow we've still been getting impressive wins this year. We
Yeah,
talk about the wins against the Nuggets where we
Bucks.
dominated them. Yeah, the Bucks, Sacramento, a couple of times. Who else? I mean, it's been a lot of good games. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That we got dubs and other games where we got screwed over that we should have won.
Bulls game, dog.
Yeah, remember that? Yeah,
We'll
but
save the
yeah,
referee rant for another time.
yeah. I was
I
thinking
get a
about it
little
too.
too animated, but
I was about to pop off, but yeah, I would say B minus overall, just because of how Jalen has underperformed.
yeah, that's fair. I think the biggest expectation I had going into the season was that Jalen would take a jump. I thought Sengun was already playing well for his age, for his timeline. He was already ahead of the timeline. Now he's well ahead of the timeline, which is why I think he's on a generational track now. But Jalen, like, I expected more, man. It hurts. It sucks. Like I said the same thing about KPJ last season. I know we don't talk about him anymore, but I said that when we didn't have anybody on the team anymore, like Harden had asked out, Russ asked out, Christian Wood was like our only hope, and we picked up this kid from Cleveland, and I was like, oh, okay, we got like there's somebody, right? There's somebody to put my hope in, put my faith in. Like, let's see how this goes as a fan. Purely as a fan, not objective at all. And that got fucking screwed over. And maybe I should have learned from putting my faith in a player like that. But that's what being a fan is, isn't it? Is like trusting that your player is special, or trusting that your guy is special. So yeah, I thought Jalen had it, and to see like not to see that he doesn't have it, but to see that he's struggling like this is tough. As a fan, it's tough because it puts me in like a funk watching the games, and I'm like, that energy isn't there where I'm like excited to see my guys play. Like I'm still watching the games because I'm a Rockets fan. I'm committed. But like, just how many times are you gonna say, "Come on, Jalen"? Like,
I
take a smarter
know.
shot. Go up strong. Like, how many times are you gonna say it before you're just like, all right, let's see what Cam's got. So that's where I'm at. It's sad. It sucks. But I'm very close to being like, let's just see what Cam's got. Put him in the starting lineup.
Yeah, man. I think it's just about. I mean, as a from a fan's perspective, to, to just stay positive as you can. You know what I'm saying with these guys because they're really young. We still got a really young team, and when you think about it, we really weren't supposed to win this year, dog. Like
Yeah.
we weren't supposed to be in the mix, like in the playoffs
Remember how much
or
we got
anything
shit
like
on
that.
for signing Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet?
Oh yeah, they were
Like people were
killing
like,
us,
this isn't
dog.
gonna make a difference. Y'all just signed up to be mediocre for the rest of the whatever, you know,
Yeah,
next 4 years.
and this is not to like make excuses for him because this is his third year, dog. Like you got to show something. You know what I mean?
I
Like
mean, we've been talking about him this long because we're not making excuses for him. He's got to play better.
yeah,
Period. Point blank.
but we're still like you said, Rocket fans. Like whoever's on the team playing well, man, we're gonna support and whatever we see, we're gonna call out. So
Yeah, even if it's a player that we like, get him off the team. Like it's nothing personal. I still want to see Jock Landale play well. Like if it's a choice between Jock Landale playing well here and getting traded, play well here. Like I don't. It's that simple. It's nothing personal. So Jalen, play better, dog. Like I know you don't want to hear this. I imagine you won't hear this because why would you? But I imagine you hear this from other people. There's no way he's missing all of this dialogue about him, right? Don't prove Bill Simmons right. Don't give him that satisfaction. Don't give me that pain. Like if I have to hear about Herb Jones versus Jalen Green again, I'm gonna like claw my eyes out.
that should be all the motivation that he needs, dog. You know, shit like that.
Coming off of that second, not the second, yeah, for the first, the only time he went on the Bill Simmons podcast, he was like right there on top of the situation, handled it so classy, so gracefully, didn't give Bill Simmons like the engagement, like the back and forth or anything like that. He just went on and was like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. Like I understand you weren't trying to talk shit, and he kept it moving. And then Bill Simmons started talking shit again. But Jalen was playing well, so we could all shit on Bill Simmons and be like, "You idiot, you old idiot Celtics fan. Don't talk about my team." I had so much like righteous indignation in my voice last season on that "fuck you, Bill Simmons" or "shut up, Bill Simmons" episode, and it was a high rated episode too. That's one of our most popular episodes. People hate Bill Simmons. Do it for the people, Jalen Green. Do it for the people, and fuck Bill Simmons. Pause.
Yes,
All right.
absolutely, bro. Because
You
then you
want to
get.
add anything about the Rockets, or do you want to jump to our final topic?
Well, I'll add one more thing.
All right.
If he does like show out and play better,
Mhm.
that then we can create another video like the Houston Texans did when they were shitting on Bill Simmons.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That was dope. Like they did like the Lord's work for the city, though.
Dub. That's a dub admin right
You
there.
know what I mean?
You want to talk about dub admins? The Astros and the Texans. No shade to the Rockets admin. They've done some great work in the past.
Oh yeah.
It'll all be over soon. Is comes to mind. But like the Astros guys have been going hard as fuck the last couple of years, and the Texans guys went nuts this postseason. They pulled all the receipts when we got to the playoffs. But yeah, that's a great opportunity to pivot to our next topic, which is, damn, the Texans had a motherfucking season.
Yes,
Like
sir.
what a fun ride. It didn't end how any of us wanted it to end, but it ended in a way that none of us expected to end. Like nobody thought this was ending in the playoffs, right? Like even when we predicted it, I think we said like 9-8 or 8-8 or something like that for
Yeah.
the season. I think you had more faith. You said a winning record, like 10-7, I think.
Yeah, I said we'll win the division and make
Mhm.
it to the playoffs.
You
Yeah.
called that shit, dog. You called it straight up.
Yeah.
Pull up the receipts. We have it on the episode. Pull up the receipts. I called that shit. We were both labeled optimistic fans, delusional by some, and ultimately correct. So
Yes, sir. Let's
me and
go.
my lack of knowledge about the NFL, I had so much like fun running laps on Twitter and be like, I called this shit. I called this shit. I
Yeah.
didn't know what the hell I was talking about, but I called that shit. But you knew what you were talking about and you called that shit. So why don't you talk about it instead of me talking about it? Tell me how you would grade sort of like the Texans season and break it down however you want.
I would say A minus overall. And the only reason I have the minus there is because our running game was not there, dog. Besides Devin Singletary saving our season, the second part,
Mm-hmm.
um, our running game was non-existent. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest keys this offseason is to get a good running back and focus on our offensive line so we can, improve that area. But man, for the season, dog, what a magical season this was for CJ Stroud, rookie, breaking all kinds of records, being in like company that nothing but Hall of Famers, dog. You know what I'm saying? And then making like these receivers like Nico Collins, Tank Dell, like legit studs, legit number ones. Nico Collins had 1,000 yards receiving this year. Nobody fucking saw that coming. Tank Dell. Well, I think a lot of people had faith in Tank Dell because of the speed, and he clearly showed it. You know what I'm saying? I think it would have been a different story if we had him against Baltimore.
Yeah.
Um, but man, this season was everything that Texan fans wanted, and we believed as soon as we got D'Amico Ryan's hired, and when you have players that play and believe for the coach, it establishes that winning culture, and that's exactly what you saw this year, dog. Like, I'm so excited for the future. We're getting new uniforms. The city, like the fan base, is back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is exactly what you wanted. And man, like being in the playoffs, the city was just different, man.
Yeah, the Texans have not. I mean, they've never even been to the AFC Championship game, right? Like, they've always
Yeah.
lost in the divisional round. That's the furthest they've gone. Like,
Yeah.
even when they get to the divisional round, the energy in the city is different. And I wasn't there this time, but I've been there before and I've felt it as a non-fan,
Mm-hmm.
or like as a default fair weather fan of the Texans. I felt it. I was like, Texans must be, doing well this season. And that's when I'd start paying attention. I wouldn't pay attention before that. That's why I didn't know how many games were played in the fucking season. I've watched like 20 Super Bowls, but that's regular season games. I'll probably watch like before this season. I've watched like 2 regular season games. So for me, it was like all brand new, whatever. But like you said, that experience that they gain, setting that winning mentality, that culture, you can see how much of an effect that has. Where CJ kind of summed it up best when he said, "Losers lose, winners win." Like you just have to decide we're not going to be a losing team. Like we're not trying to lose anymore. And Ime has tried that so much of the team is made up of those young guys, though. I think it's harder for the Rockets to do it. But the
Mhm.
Texans have so many vets. It's such a good mix of like vets and then mature young guys, super mature young guys. Like there's a reason everybody's like CJ talks like a 10-year vet. He looks like a 10-year vet in the pocket. Will Anderson Jr. talks like a 10-year vet. Like these guys are playing, they're playing at times like rookies. They're playing at times like all stars. I guess it's all pro in the NFL, right? But that winning mentality, I feel like, is the biggest difference that you can see from D'Amico from like Hannah McNair to Nick
Facts.
Casario to D'Amico to CJ down to every dude on the line. Everybody's like locked in trying to win. Nobody's there just trying to play the game and get a paycheck. Which you could kind of see last season. I caught like some clips, some games where they were getting embarrassed, dude, and it was tough to watch. It's so tough to watch in the sense of like this is not entertaining. I don't want to watch this. My team's not fighting. Like I'm fighting to stay awake. They're not even fighting to win the game. So like watching this season, watching CJ come out at the beginning and being like, I want y'all to be able to wear your Texans jersey. I want y'all to be proud of this team. I was like, dude, somebody finally fucking gets it.
Yes, bro.
The head coach wants to be there. The QB wants to be there. Like, this is it. They're ready to go. And they started winning those games. It was nuts. I had so much fun watching this season. Like for my first season as like a real football fan or whatever. A, I learned so much, and B, holy shit, I'm spoiled. I hope it's not only downhill from here because I got my boy into basketball. Shout out Rohan. I got him into basketball, into the Rockets, the 2017-18 season. So it's
Mhm.
just been smooth downhill from there for him. This is the first time it's gotten better, and he's finally getting back into it. So hopefully the Texans don't pull a Rockets, and I don't see how they can. They're set up so well for the future, right?
No, you're cooking, man. And shout out to Rohan too, man. Real good dude. We were hanging out last time, you know what I'm saying?
We
But
won't go into details.
but yeah, man, with the Texans, next year we're gonna have a hard schedule because we won the division. And some of the opponents, and schedule came out already. Man, it's gonna be tough, man. But like I've said before, you focus on the division games and you're right back in the mix. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And next year, Reezy, we play the Cowboys at Dallas. You know what I mean? That's gonna be a huge game. For the whole city, for the fans, everybody, shit talkers. You know what I'm saying? That's going down. That should be a Sunday night football game. If they're smart, they'll put it on prime time. But
I agree. It should be prime time.
but
I'm not gonna lie. The
mhm.
most satisfying thing I heard this season about the Texans was that they were Texas's team. I don't know who kept repeating it on like NFL Network. Somebody was like, "America's team. Dallas isn't even Cowboys." Damn
Yeah,
it, I fumbled that entirely. You get my
no, you're
point.
good.
He kept saying
Yeah.
that, and I was just like, "Keep saying it, dog. Just keep saying it." Like it's just making me happier and happier because it's real. Like we've won more playoff games since we became a franchise. Um, your quarterback's name is Dakota. Ours is Coleridge.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
just right there is over, bro.
it's
With
over.
that,
Like how
just
you even gonna
knowing the names, yeah.
who's their wide receiver? God damn, who am I thinking of?
CD Lamb,
No, the one who left the Texans.
um, left the Texans. Oh, you talking about Brandon Cooks?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
on the Cowboys now, right?
yeah.
Fuck it, we'll take Tank Dell over Brendan Cooks. Fuck it, we'll take Nico Collins too. Um, so like fuck it, fuck him, fuck the Cowboys, fuck Dallas, fuck Jerry. Jerry only got a couple years left in him, so they're just gonna keep disappointing him until he croaks.
But I
And
would.
I said it when they lost. I'll say this last thing after Green Bay beat them. You can't spell Dallas without a couple of L's. Fuck you, Dallas. You're the worst city in Texas. All right, I'm done.
You know what I mean? But I will get credit, bro, to like Cal and Hannah McNair because it really
Yeah.
started with them. Um, when they really saw the things that were going on the last 2 or 3 years, from the front office to not really engaging with the fans that much. I think that has an impact on the whole organization. And when the season started, you saw it. They were really trying to embrace the whole city in a different way.
Hmm.
Uh, so the only guy we really kept was Nick Casario, and he did a hell of a job in the draft. Like he was not part of that regime with Bill O'Brien
No.
and Cully and all of them because that guy actually knows football. Bill O'Brien and David Cully, and I won't say Lovey Smith because he's part of the reason why we got CJ. But
Bill
those
Lovey's
guys
a
don't.
statue.
Yeah, bro, it was because of him. But Bill O'Brien, David Cully, they don't know football. So it started with the owner recognizing that you need to establish a different culture for the organization, and that starts from marketing. Like being friendly with the fans.
Attitude. It's the
Yeah,
franchise's attitude with the city, the relationship with the city. That
exactly.
matters. That's not a like an in what is it? It's not an unimportant thing. It should be a major priority for the franchise. You can tell when a franchise isn't really like the city doesn't really fuck with them, you know? Like it
Yeah.
took a while for the Rockets, I feel like, to get that respect in Houston, and like Hakeem established it. Solid, whatever, no problem. The
Mhm.
Astros kind of had it for a while. They were, like a legendary team at times in the past and like had legendary players. So they have some level of respect and attachment within the community. The Texans don't have that. The Oilers had that, but the Texans don't have that. And the Texans have kind of never really had that. They kind of almost got it. I can remember it because it almost got to me when Deshaun and Hop and JJ were all playing together. Even when like Andre Johnson was playing, right? Like there were times when you were like, "Oh shit, the Texans are like a real football team. They're not just like an expansion little bitch team."
Yeah.
Um, but this season, I feel like they were like no qualifications. We're a team to be taken seriously, and it really felt like CJ had an inordinate amount to do with that, which is crazy. Like, I don't have a point of reference to be like, oh, what CJ is doing is crazy. I've never watched a rookie quarterback in the NFL, so I don't know. Like, this is the first time I've really watched one over a season. So I'm spoiled as fuck. Every time I watch one of these other quarterbacks who's like established fucking up, I'm like, this idiot's throwing interceptions. Like, it's a normal thing to throw an interception, but I'm like, this idiot's throwing interception. My QB would never.
Yeah,
So just
exactly.
shit like that, you know? I did want to point out you said Hannah and Cal McNair both deserve a lot of credit. I agree. I also want to give credit to Andre Johnson for meeting with Cal McNair and saying get rid of that fucking weirdo
Yes.
in the whatever front office, that Jack Easterby guy, because I wasn't following football last season, and even I heard about how bad he was and how there's like this weird religious dude like calling the shots in the front office, and I'm like, look, every time one of these weird, like overtly religious dudes starts calling shots in a like sports organization, it doesn't go well. Like when Mark Jackson was being a homophobe in the Warriors locker room, and they switched to Steve Kerr and immediately started winning, like that, you can't get that kind of energy to like dissipate that easily. If you're saying weird shit in practice or weird shit in team meetings, like the players are gonna be like, we don't really fuck with this organization.
Yeah.
So get that fool out of there. And it's nothing against religious people either, because D'Amico's like very religious, wears his faith on his sleeve.
Hmm.
CJ obviously very religious, wears his faith on his sleeve. Those guys are handling it just fine. They're not being weirdos about it. They're just religious. So I'm glad that Andre Johnson came back and saved the franchise for us by saying, "Get that weirdo out of here." Credit to him too. Um,
There was a quote before I forget, Reezy. I just want
mhm.
to add this.
Yeah.
There's a quote that DeAndre Hopkins said when he was a rookie here, listening to Andre Johnson giving him game and like teaching him the ropes. He said, "Whenever Dre speaks, listen."
Wait.
You know
Who
what I
said that?
mean? D Hop.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought
Yeah,
you said Andre said that. Oh yeah. No. I totally believe that.
yeah. So when he said whenever Dre speaks,
Mm-hmm.
listen.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
exactly
Look at a
what
Hall
they
of Famer,
did.
dog. Right?
Yeah.
There's no reason to be like questioning Andre Johnson. That man is stamped. What, isn't he working with Nico Collins this season, or wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah. He's still working with all the receivers and stuff, like giving them tips. It's like always around the facility and NRG. So we're set, bro.
We need to get a clip of that, and we need to cut it with Hakeem working with Shangoon. That
Oh,
would
that
be
would be
sick.
sick, bro.
Old
Yeah,
generation, new generation,
yeah.
and then just get me, Bagwell and Pena or something. I don't know. Pena got a lot of heat this offseason. I
I
still
know,
like him.
bro. The sophomore slump.
Get Jordan and like Bagwell or something,
Yeah.
Um,
Altuve.
yeah, fuck it. Well, Altuve's still on the team, right? But he's not like I wouldn't say he's like the next generation. I guess
Oh yeah.
he's kind of like I don't know. That's real quick. So fuck it. We talked about the other two teams. This isn't on the docket, but let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Where do you rank Altuve in the like Houston sports athlete rank? It's one or two. So do you have a one or two? Is my question.
Two.
Two,
I will always have Akeem number one. You know,
because of your loyalty to the Rockets superseding your loyalty to the Astros, or just because like you just love Hakeem that much?
because of my loyalty to the Rockets.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
Also think I maybe baseball fans won't like it, but I feel like one basketball player makes more of a difference than one baseball player. And I'm gonna take refuge in the fact that Mike Trout hasn't accomplished shit in the postseason,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
That dude was the best player in the league for a couple of seasons there, and had the second best player with him, or the next best player with him for a couple of seasons there before he. Oh my god, I'm not even gonna get into Shohei Ohtani right now. I'm leaving that for another day. I almost just like got really pissed off. Anyway, I feel like Hakeem had a bigger impact on those two championships, especially when you consider the team around him. He had a bigger impact than Altuve did on those championships. But for me, it's still 1-2. Like Altuve is easy number two.
Oh yeah.
That's not even up for discussion.
Yeah, man. Because you thought the Astros never won a World Series ever, bro. Before
Mm-mm.
Altuve,
Nah,
and
he did it, dog, with the cheating allegations and without. That's so
exactly, man.
amazing. Like,
Yeah,
fuck everybody.
he's a short king. You know what I'm saying?
Five
Taking
five.
care of
Can you
business.
imagine?
You know what I mean? And still like being one of the top dogs in the city. I
I
love that, bro.
He's such a good ambassador for the city of Houston. Like just his existence, like as a short, you know, immigrant guy,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't speak the language perfectly. I mean, he speaks pretty well. I'm not That's not a knock on him, but I'm saying like, he learned the language. It's not his first language. And just dominating his field. No bullshit, right? Whatever the allegations were, we know he cheated. He didn't cheat. He didn't want to cheat. They bang it a couple of times when he's at bat, and he immediately gets pissed about it. Right? We know all this about Altuve.
Yeah.
So the fans already don't give a shit. They're not gonna hold the cheating allegations against him. That buzzer shit, John Boy. I'm not gonna get started on that either. Dog, I'm so close to ranting on like multiple things. But like you get my point, right? So like he's
Yeah.
been through so much shit and just come out the other side successful, accomplishing his goals, accomplishing his dreams, and like such a good ambassador for the city of Houston. Just to be like, fuck everybody else. I'm doing it. I'm accomplishing it. 5'5" pro athlete in America. 5'5".
Such a wholesome person too, bro. Like when you look at the
Unbelievable.
stuff he does outside of the game for the community and everything, like
But all of our athletes are like that too. To be fair to like
that's
other
true.
guys, and definitely like I don't want. I'm not trying to like diminish what Altuve is doing at all. Like for sure, he's probably up there as like the biggest impact in the community. If I like, I can't think of another athlete. Maybe CJ will over time because of who he is.
Yeah.
But like, I can't think of another player who's had the impact Altuve has on our city. Maybe James Harden because he does that JH Town thing. He definitely like gives back to the community here. He's a big part of it. Hakeem, I know, is a big part of the community. I don't know how much like work he still does, but like we are lucky to have those kind of athletes here. We really could have had just had Carl Malone and John Stockton, dog.
Oh fuck
Can you
that.
imagine?
Oh my god,
Can
bro.
you imagine that shit? I want all y'all to think about that for a minute. Salt Lake City, that's all they have. Did you see that Utah posted an interview between those two? And it was
Huh.
like it was like the legend and the icon or some bullshit like that. And somebody was saying like this that's those aren't the two adjectives anybody thinks of to describe Carl Malone and John Stockton. We'll leave it at that. We don't gonna get too dirty on this podcast. But we covered all three Houston sports. We did the
Yes,
midseason
sir.
review. I can't think of anything else to talk about right now. So I'll leave it to you. Do you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
Yes. I
Hit me.
cannot wait to go to New York
Oh hell
this
yeah.
weekend though. You know what I'm saying? Hang out
We're
with my
doing this.
boy. And you know, Brooklyn, we're gonna be up there though, so I can't wait for that. I just had to put it out there, man, because I'm so excited about that, dog.
Yeah, y'all might see us on the broadcast
sir.
for the Brooklyn game. We're gonna go hit up the Barclays Center. We'll have a fun little weekend here in New York. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. It's cold as shit. Pack a jacket. It's insanely cold. I was telling you, I was saying before we started recording, it snowed 5 days ago, and that snow is still outside. It hasn't gone above freezing in like 4 or 5 days. It's fucking insane. Anyway, I'll be back in Houston soon. If it doesn't get warm, I'm coming back.
Let's go. We'll
At
text
least
you,
for
bro.
like the rest of February, I might do it. If it doesn't warm up by like Valentine's Day, I'm gonna do Valentine's Day here, and I'm leaving. But yeah, I think that's it. We'll see if the podcast is up on YouTube. That could get interesting. The editing and seeing how fast I can get that out. But do we have a game? I guess tonight because it's technically 12. Let's see who's coming up on the schedule here.
We
Okay,
got
so next
Portland.
up, Portland tomorrow. Yeah.
Mhm.
So not today. Today Tuesday.
Mhm.
We'll play Portland. Yeah, you said Wednesday, and then Hornets on Friday. Good. We got two potentially easy, winnable games coming up. Oh, and then the Lakers, dude. We were just talking about this.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great. Okay, so we potentially are staring down the barrel of a 3-game winning streak. I don't want to jinx it. I probably just did though. We'll see what happens. But we could be above 500 by February. No. Yeah, by February. We'll see. But I think that wraps it up for us. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Reezyseason, ReeTyszn. You can find the podcast at Sittin Sideways _ with no G. Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter at Ikequear. That's IKECUELLAR. Man, we appreciate you guys for tapping in, man, showing
Yeah.
love.
Thank you for listening. If you're watching, thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button,
Yes,
leave a
sir.
comment, whatever you want. We're gonna be on YouTube. We're gonna be on TikTok too, pretty soon. Look for those accounts. We'll be on Instagram. We'll be dropping reels. We're expanding the podcast a little bit. This is what's been in the works. There's still a lot of work to do to like get it to be as seamless as we want. That's why we're not sure if it'll be this episode or not that goes up on YouTube. It should be, God willing.
Yes, sir.
That's all I got, man. Let's call it there. Thanks for tuning in. Go Rockets.
Boys in the days,
Yes, sir.
the Sunday night,